Hello everybody, Drew from Langlois Vital Nutrition Center here with you. Thank you for watching this video. I'm excited to make this video. A lot of you have been asking for this video, and I got it. Hopefully you're subscribed to the channel, and that's why you heard about this video. If not, click that subscribe button now. Alright, the video. What is gluten? You've been asking for this, you've been wondering what this is. It's confusing, there's misinformation out there. There's a lot of mockery of people who avoid gluten in the world. All right, let's just talk gluten facts. I'm not going to tell you whether or not you should eat it. I'm not going to tell you whether or not you should poke fun at somebody for avoiding it. We're just going to talk about the facts. Here we go. Gluten is a protein that gives structure. So if you've ever walked into a Panera Bread company, especially back in the late 90s when they started, and you saw those loaves of bread that were like a foot tall, they were very rich in gluten. I know this because gluten gives structure to things. So the reason a loaf of bread can hold its shape is often because of gluten. So gluten is a protein that gives structure. We're going to talk about that more in a minute here. Here are some sources of gluten. The biggest three are wheat, barley, and rye. Those are your top three. Pound for pound, they're the most glutinous. Other sources, when you see durum, semolina, emmer, spelt, farro, farina, gram, einkorn, and there's other ones also. But for the most part, we're going to find gluten in grains. Not all grains. For example, rice is gluten-free. But here's a list of the most common ones, with by far the top three being wheat, barley, and rye. But there are also other sources of gluten. Now, I really do not want to confuse you, so please listen to this part. There are many, many foods in the world that contain gluten because gluten has been added to them to give them structure. So here's a couple of examples. Some companies that make pudding, ready-to-go pudding, add gluten even though you don't need gluten to make pudding. Because when they add that gluten, the pudding has a different texture. It has a different structure to it. Some smoothie mixes and some protein shakes have gluten proteins added to them to change the texture. So somewhere in a laboratory, somebody was cooking up that product and said, the taste is really good, and the color is just right, but we want a different mouthfeel so that people will want to drink this mix. So to change that and to change the structure of that product, they add gluten. Sorry about that. The camera battery ran out and I was kind of on a roll, so I'm not going to scrap that part of the video, but I have changed the wardrobe and the lighting is absolutely different, but I'm still talking to you about gluten. So that chemist in the laboratory who was changing the product for the sake of structure, they were adding gluten into the product even though the product naturally does not contain gluten. And they were doing that for the sake of selling it to you because its texture was perfect or its structure was perfect. So here's a challenge for you. Now that you have a bit more info on gluten, what it is, many of the sources of it, I want you to start to look at products for an ingredient that's called vital wheat gluten. Vital wheat gluten. Okay? You'll see it in protein mixes, you'll see it in breads, tortilla wraps, that kind of stuff, pizza crusts. Look for vital wheat gluten. But look for it in all sorts of different products because, like I just said, there are many products that do not contain anything that naturally has gluten in it, but gluten was added to that product for the sake of changing its structure or its texture. So please think of gluten not only as something that naturally occurs in all these things. Please remember that gluten is something that can be added to other foods, just like you can add salt to any dish or any food. Sprinkle a little on top of it. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what questions are coming to mind in the comments below. Please hit like, I like this video. I think you should too. Have a good day.